Good morning. Today we continue with Genesis chapter 21, verses 22 through 34. And I encourage you to read this passage personally because it shows us a life shaped by God's faithfulness does influence others and reflects integrity. In verses 22 and 23, Abimelech and Phicol approach Abraham and say, "God is with thee in all that thou doest." This is significant. Even those outside the covenant recognize God's presence in Abraham's life. Abraham's consistent walk with God has become visible. Abimelech seeks a covenant of peace, asking Abraham to deal truthfully and not harm him or his land. A faithful life often becomes a testimony before others, even without words. In verses 24 through 26, Abraham agrees, but first addresses a matter of justice, the well of water that Abimelech's servants had taken. This shows Abraham's integrity. Faithfulness to God does not ignore wrongdoing, but it addresses it with honesty, peace, rather than conflict. In verses 27 through 30, Abraham gives sheep and oxen and sets apart 7 lambs as a witness that he has dug the well. This act formalizes the covenant and establishes clarity and peace. The place is called Beersheba, meaning well of the oath, marking a moment where truth, peace, and testimony comes together. In verses 31 and 32, the covenant is confirmed, and Abimelech returns to his land. Peace is established not through strength or control, but through truth and integrity. In verses 33 and 34, Abraham plants a tamarisk tree and calls on the name of the Lord and the everlasting God. This closing moment is powerful. After securing peace and provision, Abraham turns to worship. He acknowledges that his life, his future, and his security rest not in agreements with men, but in the eternal faithfulness of God. We can see how this passage points us to Christ. Just as Abraham's life bore witness that God was with him, the life of Christ perfectly revealed the presence and character of God. And through Christ, believers are called to live in a way that reflects God's truth, peace, and faithfulness before the world. Today, live in a way that reflects God's presence in your life. Walk with integrity. Seek peace when possible. Let your actions quietly testify that your trust is in the everlasting God. God bless.